In the following clips from a series of descriptive films, you will see children afflicted with various neurological and psychological disorders that make it difficult for them to function normally. These segments will illustrate some of the ways these children can be helped.
The autistic child doesn't seem to understand any language. Therefore, the teacher speaks simply and demonstrates the meaning of words with gestures.
Did you know that 20 years ago, only 1 in 10,000 births were diagnosed with autism? Today, it's 1 in 88 births, and the numbers keep rising all over the world. Studies of people with autism show that only 15 in 100 children with autism grow up to live on their own. Only 17 out of 100 children grow up to live alone but need dedicated help. Many adults with autism need full-time care for the rest of their lives. Current studies have also shown that in-home therapy for children with autism can run as high as $60,000 a year or more. Let me repeat that, $60,000 a year or more. So what's a loving and concerned parent to do? In this short and free presentation, you're going to find out how to support your child with autism in reaching their full potential in the most effective, affordable, and simple way possible. You're about to discover a method which is extremely new and unseen, a step-by-step formula which has countless success stories, a blueprint for success which is easy to copy and is based on 20 years of experience. And it doesn't involve spending your hard-earned income on medical treatments such as secretin, antipsychotic drugs, stem cell treatment, or stimulants. Recent research has proven that many medications simply don't work, and those that do can cause major side effects. It also doesn't involve trying diets or expensive supplements. Although surveys have shown that nearly 1/3 of parents have tried specific diets for their child with autism, there hasn't been much research to prove that these diets or supplements actually work. A common problem faced by many parents of children with autism is a lack of advice from their doctors. In fact, a recent study has shown that most doctors don't even think they have the knowledge or time to devote to children with autism. So where does that leave you, the parent? The fact is, there are literally hundreds of treatment methods out there. Many of them flat out don't work. Others aren't even proven to work, and some could actually harm your child. How do you figure out which treatment option to follow? Unfortunately, without the right information, you could end up learning the hard way through a lot of trial and error, and that can be a hugely stressful experience. According to specialist research, it's quite common for families to try a staggering 12 or more therapies. If the methods you've tried haven't worked, not only can it be extremely costly, particularly if your medical insurance doesn't cover it, but it can also waste precious time which is critical for your child's development. Research has proven that it's so important to take action early to help your child with autism reach their full potential. Acting early can make all the difference. You might be watching this as a newcomer to the world of autism. If you are, it's important that you understand that autism itself is not terrible. But not understanding it and not getting the help that is out there for your child, now that can be very terrible. I hope that you'll look back and be glad that you stumbled across this free presentation. This video might not be up on this website for too long, so please close down Facebook, log off your email, listen carefully, and take notes. I urge you to stay to the very end. You'll soon find out why. Hi, I'm Sandra Arnson, a specialist with over 20 years of experience of working with children with autism spectrum disorder. We've never met, but the fact that you're here today tells me that you desperately want to do the right thing to help and support your child. Rest assured, I've worked with literally hundreds of parents who've been on a similar journey to you. Look, I understand that initially the news that your precious child has some form of autism is shocking. I imagine that when you initially got the diagnosis, you probably had some pretty overwhelming emotions, including guilt, sadness, confusion, fear, and worry. Whether you got the diagnosis months or even years ago, one thing you know for sure is that life for you and your family is not going to be what you expected. Perhaps you're even thinking you'll never get through this and that your child will never have the opportunities or experiences you dreamed of for them. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, if you're the parent of a child with autism, the first thing you must know is your child can have a happy and fulfilling life. But you must act early. Studies have shown this is absolutely crucial. Sorry to be blunt here, but I can absolutely guarantee that if you are not proactive in working with your child's challenges and you do not take action to help their development, many of your fears will be realized. Some parents can actually be too proactive. They try to read up on everything about autism they can possibly find. They join online discussion forums and network like mad with other parents. Unfortunately, these kind of parents can suffer from information overload. This pitfall is one to avoid, as it puts you at risk of losing sight of the very tools which will get you through this. The aim of this short and free presentation is to keep things simple. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to easy-to-use, powerful, and proven strategies that you can use at home from today. But first, I want you to consider this. Current research has shown that most children with autism don't show much improvement on their own during the second year of life. That's why it's so important to act as early as possible. Remember, the world can be a very confusing and stressful place for your child as they try to make sense of things. That's why children with autism need extra focused help to learn skills other children their age usually learn on their own. Acquiring these skills can open the doors to their entire future, with more successful social interactions, better communication, and yes, more friends. As a parent of a child with autism, one of the biggest fears you might have is whether your child will ever be able to be independent. Will your child ever be able to connect to you and other loved ones? These are valid concerns, because a lot of times children with autism have very uneven development. In some areas they are incredibly smart and know everything you can imagine about their favorite topic. But then there are so many areas where your child is completely at a loss. It's especially important that your child with autism has every opportunity to understand and enjoy social interactions, so they can interact and relate as much as possible to their loved ones and friends, and so you can find more joy in your relationship with your child. It's one of the most troubling aspects of parenting a child with autism, when, through no fault of your own, you experience a lack of connection with your child. Instead of the give and take of affection, laughter, and joy you were expecting to happen naturally with your child, you find yourself at a loss about what to do to reach them. The child with autism might look normal, but their behavior can be extremely difficult. The only predictable thing about having a child with autism is the unpredictability. It's so important that you get this, because no matter how difficult or even impossible things may seem right now, once you begin learning how you must behave with your child, there can be amazing change in your child's life and the life of your entire family. And it's not as difficult as you might think. All you need are the right tools. Research proves that when you know the ways to help your child with autism interact, communicate, and play with others, you can become a champion for your child. Let's face it, no one starts a family expecting they'll have a child with special needs. Discovering your child has autism can sometimes result in a lot of sadness and even shame for parents. Along with that is the helpless feeling that you just don't know where to turn for solid information and support as you begin your journey. The good news is, all this can change beginning right now, because I'm going to help you zero in on your child's strengths and tap into powerful ways to build their self-confidence. After 2 decades of working with children with autism, I felt called to create this ABC simple blueprint for parents, grandparents, and caregivers. Easy-to-use, step-by-step tools to support your child in reaching their full potential in the most effective and manageable way possible. This is going to be an extremely important day for you. But first, let's take a moment to get better acquainted. As I mentioned, I began working with children on the spectrum 20 years ago. I was eager to enter a graduate program while attending UCLA, so I volunteered my services as an intern as my first step. Honestly, at that time, I'd never even heard the word autism before. I didn't know what it was. Remember, back then, there wasn't even a way to Google autism. On my first day as an intern, I was sent up to the 8th floor, where, through a two-way mirror, I saw a room full of beautiful children working with their therapists. I saw an aggressive child with no language. Another child had language, but he was only able to communicate by reciting the entire script from a popular movie, word for word. I'd never seen anything like it. Then there was the adorable little boy who knew anything and everything about firefighters. This was my very first observation of the variable spectrum of autism, and I knew right then and there I wanted to work with these incredible children. I started taking part in the program and absolutely loved it. These kids had such an amazing array of talents and abilities. It was incredible and challenging, too. I soon discovered the most difficult part of my training was when I'd sit in on meetings with parents when they were given their child's diagnosis of autism. It was always a very difficult day. Their concerns and emotions were many, but there was always a similar theme. There was often sadness, anger, confusion, and a whole lot of questions like, what does this mean for my child? How will this affect my child's future? How will it affect our family life? How will it affect my other children? And, of most important, am I making the right choices for my child? These reactions and questions stayed with me. And over the years, as I continued working with literally hundreds of children on the spectrum, I knew there was something more to be done. You see, I've worked with children across many environments, including hospitals, private homes, schools, and my office. I've seen firsthand what works and what doesn't work. I've heard almost every question a parent has about their child's autism, including questions you may be afraid to ask, but really should ask. What I've also seen time and time again are the mistakes that parents make. Most children, whether they have autism or not, will at times test their parents' patience to extreme levels. But putting it down to autism is unfair. But the mistake you must avoid is to believe that you need to fix your child. Constantly giving your child the impression that he needs to be fixed can make him feel that he's just not good enough the way he is. Of course, your child might behave in ways which don't help his social development, but it's important that you separate that particular behavior from the whole child. Remember that it takes an incredible amount of effort on your child's part to fit into our social world. He's trying the best he can with the skills and social understanding he has. If you show a lack of belief in him, he will pick up on that. Accept the fact that social and other skills need to be taught, and you, yes, you, are the best person to do it. There is so much you can do without the need for professionals or school teachers. Unfortunately, some parents try every new thing that comes out to fix their child, instead of analyzing their child's needs and finding the right tools that will really help their child. Your child's future is dependent on you taking the right action. I've worked with so many parents who spend their time searching for some kind of miracle cure for autism. When they discover the latest development, they tend to dive in head first. There are so many fads around which parents desperately buy into. Some are downright unethical and exploitative. Over the years, I've worked with a number of children who have progressed to college and higher education. In all of these success stories, there has been one single common factor. All of these children have had appropriate behavior intervention. This has been consistent amongst every single one of them. If you don't have a realistic plan for your child, and if you're investing in the latest fad, hoping for a rapid cure, unfortunately, you're going to be disappointed. You need to have a vision of what you want for your child. Once you have that, you need a specialist program, a structured blueprint which can reach the goals you want your child to achieve. A plan that will help you to give your child the skills to become independent. But it needs to be easy to implement, and of course, it needs to produce quick, positive results for your child. After 20 years of working with parents, schools, and many other professionals, I've been inspired to do something new, something very different, something that's unique. It's taken 13 long months of planning, development, and feedback, but finally I've built a step-by-step program which is powerful, proven, and most importantly, easy to copy. This is literally the ultimate and most simple blueprint you can possibly find to help your child with autism lead a happy and independent life. It's also something very close to my heart. I've felt a calling to do this for a long time because as the rates of autism continue to climb, the need for this kind of support is so important. The easy-to-copy strategies I've developed genuinely work. But don't just take my word for it. On this website, you'll find many reviews and comments from real people, parents, carers, and fellow professionals who've used my simple blueprint and who've seen real and fast results. Every parent of a child with autism hopes for at least 4 things. 1. Your child will have friends. 2. Your child will reach their full potential. 3. Your child will be able to function independently. And 4. Your child will be happy. It's so important that you understand this simple fact. There is hope for your child's future. I'm often asked how my approach to working with children with autism is different. One of the greatest honors I can ever receive is when a parent tells me, as one mother did, "You're the first person who taught me how to truly understand my child." Of course, she was committed to caring for her child, but she simply hadn't known how to do so effectively. And in the process of using the simple blueprint I gave her, her love and appreciation for her child blossomed, and that's a beautiful thing. Sadly, far too many parents tell me that when they call various therapists about working with their child, it's a rather gloomy scenario. They tell me it's clinical, robotic, and grim. Maybe you've already experienced this for yourself? That's just not how I approach working with children with autism. The thing is, I simply don't see them differently than other kids. I see who they are as a person, and I think these kids are amazing, beautiful, and filled with their own special light. That's why often when I meet with a child for the first time, I see something unique and endearing about them right from the start. It's not all that unusual for me to say to the parent, "You are so lucky to have this child." But many times they'll look at me sadly, saying, "But they have autism." Well, yes. The fact of the matter is, every child has something precious and wonderful to give, including yours. Your child is a treasure. Your child is a blessing. Your child is amazing. Your child is a child first, a miracle. Any diagnosis is secondary. I know that you never expected to grow up and be a parent of a child with special needs. Autism came without an invitation, but it came with a secret prize inside, a doorway to your deeper compassion, your deepest wells of strength and of love. There's always hope, even when things feel hopeless. There's always joy, even when stress blots joy from your vision. And there are always choices, even if you can't see them right away. You are at the beginning of a journey, and you wouldn't begin any journey without first learning a bit about your route. That's exactly what this step-by-step program is for. This journey will be filled with laughter, bumps in the road, and landscapes of discovery that you've never even dreamed of, not only in your child's growth, but in your own. And I'd be honored to help you open the door that helps to guide you through this journey step by step. In just a few seconds, you can discover the powerful and easy-to-use techniques that can transform what could potentially be a life filled with chaos and frustration into a life that will bring more happiness, peace, and harmony to your child, to you, and to your family. All you have to do is make a smart decision today. There's no question that tools as powerful as the Ultimate Autism Solution could easily command a fee many times more than what you'll invest today. Remember, some in-home early intervention programs can run as high as $60,000. Working with most therapists and educators in a professional setting can cost as much as $150 per hour. That's enough to trigger a meltdown of your own. And while there are programs that can help with the cost, why not start flexing your proactive muscle by helping yourself and your child in an entirely affordable way? The next action you should take on behalf of yourself and your child is to make an investment so very small and reasonable, there's absolutely nothing to keep you from following this proven and powerful blueprint for coping with autism. Quite simply, I feel an obligation to keep this extremely affordable for you so you can focus on what's most important, your child. That's why right now, I'm making the Ultimate Autism Solution tools available to you for the heavily subsidized price below. One of the ways I can keep the price so low is by creating the program in digital format so you can instantly access all your tools through a private membership site. That way, you won't have to pay any shipping or production costs, and you can get started immediately without losing precious time waiting for the program to arrive. It doesn't matter whether your child is just a few years old or even older than the age of 10. This will work for you. Now, even though I've done everything I can to make this a very easy decision for you, I realize it's possible you may still have some concerns. I want to make this a stress-free decision for you by removing any barriers that may hold you back. So, rest assured, you have a complete 60-day money-back guarantee. Put the 12-step Ultimate Autism Solution Blueprint to the test over the next 60 days. If for any reason whatsoever you're not truly pleased and even thrilled with how effective my strategies are, just let me know by sending me a quick email to support@ultimateautismsolution.com with the subject refund. That's all you have to do. I'll personally assure you receive a full refund immediately. No hassles, no drama, no fine print. This is the most inclusive guarantee I can give you, and I'm happy to do so. It's a matter of professional integrity for me. Don't forget, I'll be there with you every step of the way, guiding and encouraging you to success. When you join the Ultimate Autism Solution, you'll be part of a community, and that means I'll be there to provide you with dedicated one-on-one advice should you need it. Any questions or concerns you may have, all you need to do is drop me a line and I'll respond right away. But for that reason, I can't promise that I'll be keeping this open for too long. Remember, just 1 hour of consulting time from an experienced professional in this field can run at least $150. I'd love to keep this open to as many parents as possible, but to provide the kind of dedicated, one-on-one personal support that each member of the Ultimate Autism Solution community deserves, there are only so many spots that I can keep open. At this point, the only question left to answer is this: are you ready to make a commitment to creating a happier future for your child? There's no question you can't assure the best for your child's future without being directly involved. I know you care deeply, or you wouldn't be watching this right now. You undoubtedly want to give your child with autism everything they deserve in life, and with what I have created for you in the Ultimate Autism Solution, you can. All you have to do is take action today. It's the ultimate gift of love you could ever give your child, and in the process, it's a gift to yourself as well. Then prepare for an exciting journey together. I can't promise it will always be easy, but I can promise it'll be well worth it. Your access link is below. You're just 7 clicks away from accessing your step-by-step tools in the Ultimate Autism Solution members area. Quite frankly, when it comes to your child's best future, there is no time to lose. Just click on the order link below, and on the next page you'll be taken to a secure payment form where you can activate your 60-day trial immediately. It could just make all the difference for you, your family, and your child. Many parents ask what is different about the Ultimate Autism Solution. I guess that is best answered in the words of those who have reviewed and tested my strategies.
Hi, my name's Claire. I have a 20-year-old son who was diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum when he was about 2.5. So we've been on this journey for a very long time. And I know what it's like to get that diagnosis. I know that it's startling and shocking and just mind-numbing. And 18 years ago, it was even more so. I think there's a lot more information out there now than there was then. And I know there was almost no examples back then of older kids on the spectrum. I don't know whether they were kept at home or what the story was, but we desperately wanted to meet older people on the spectrum, and we just weren't meeting them. So we were terrified. We didn't know what that meant about our son's future. But we were very lucky. We knew some amazing people. We started with a great speech therapist and a doctor who was supportive, and among other things, we found our way to Sandra Arnson, who very early on started helping Max with what was probably the biggest issue for him, and may well be the biggest issue for most kids on the spectrum, which was socializing, being able to connect to kids his own age. It's what you want for any kid. You want your kids to have friends. You don't want them to feel isolated when they're out in the world. Many kids are happy at home and they have loving families, and we all want to do our best for that. But they also have to make their way in the world, and you need friends to do that. And he was struggling in that area. So that was one of the main things Sandra worked on very early with him. She always saw him with one or two other kids. She worked with them on playing together, on sharing things, on doing projects together, and he got very, very good at sort of knowing how to, just coexist peacefully and enjoy other people's company. Sandra also worked with him on something that I think comes up with a lot of kids, not just ones on the spectrum, but he ate about 3 foods. I think they were all white foods. I remember making Cheerios and yogurt for him meal after meal, and so we asked Sandra, whether there was anything that could be done about that, and she started taking him out to lunch, and they ordered different foods, and I know many kids, again, not necessarily on the spectrum, who make it into their teens and 20s still only eating a few foods. And our son today is one of the most adventuresome eaters I know. He's eaten every single ethnicity, and there's something he loves in all of them, and he's really one of the best eaters and most interesting eaters I can think of. We feel like we did all the right things. We were very lucky. We worked with him behaviorally. We didn't follow any fad, biomedical trends, and anything we heard about, we talked to all the experts in the field. We had people we trusted, and if we heard about something new, we would ask them if there was validity to it. And if the people we trusted said no, then we didn't pursue it. If the people we trusted said yes, we'd look into it. And that really led us down the behavioral path of finding really caring, passionate people to work with him in a positive, loving manner. And we started when he was young. We were told and we believe that it's incredibly important to start interventions early on, that you don't want to waste time. So from the time we knew what we were dealing with it, but always in the most positive ways. We never did anything that felt wrong to us on a gut level or on an intellectual level. Boy, things have gone about as well as they could go. We're in a place now where our 20-year-old son is in college. It's a 4-year college. He's there by himself. He's 2,500 miles away from home, something like that. So he's really on his own, living the dorm life, possibly enjoying it more than a parent would approve of, but that seems pretty much like your classic sophomore story. He's a sophomore now, and he recently switched majors, which was his own decision, and he took care of it all himself. So we feel just unbelievably lucky with where he is now, and unbelievably lucky that we had him, that he was our son, that this incredibly kind, sweet, creative, interesting guy came into our lives. And there were times when things were tough. There were many times where we thought, we have to deal with this. There's something that worries us. We have to make it better. And we did, but we did it because we loved him. We did it with other people who loved him. We never felt he was someone who needed to be fixed. We thought he was our child, and as with any child, you simply want to make their strengths stronger and help support them in any areas where they're not strong. And so we did that. And he's independent, and he's still a kind, sweet, creative guy, and we feel incredibly lucky. So, the best steps you can do is to learn everything you can, start early, find the right kinds of support, and understand that there aren't miracles, but there are amazing people, and there are really good approaches. And love your son or daughter. Thanks.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael Buchholz, and I just got through looking at the Ultimate Autism Solution. It's a fantastic program by Sandra Artson. This program is very well done so that it can become tailored to each parent's needs. It is, having been that child, the autistic child on the spectrum, when I saw this, it does something that I think is absolutely necessary for parents, and it empowers them. When you feel like you want to have some direct input in what it is that your child needs to do to improve or to adjust in a way that they're productive and constructive in society, this program pretty much hits the nail on the head. I really liked the theme of empowerment in this entire program. By going step by step, a parent can really have that fear taken away. That the thing that they need to do is to just be the best parent that they can be. And this program really helps to make that part of helping your autistic child, like I was, to become healthy and a productive member of society. I think it's a wonderful program that has everything in it that you could possibly need. So I'm just giving my little 2 cents worth in here, and I think it's a great thing. I think Sandra did a fantastic job. So kudos to Sandra. See you guys later.
All you have to do to join and become the latest success story is click on the order link. You'll be taken to a secure order page where you fill out your details and lock in your 60-day trial of the Ultimate Autism Solution. I hope to speak with you in just a few moments on the inside. Thank you so much for watching.